If you own a Sigma 16mm f1.4 lens, please do not take it to any of the sandy beaches or dusty environment where there is too much of wind and dust, because this lens is such a dust magnet. Alright, such a dust magnet. Why I'm telling this? Because you can see here, I'm bringing the lens closer, you can see here all the dust getting accumulated in the focus ring. Alright, so you wouldn't notice this happening during the place where you're in. You would assume that this ring, right, this gasket would prevent the dust getting entered into these lens elements, but actually no. So today, while I was cleaning the lens after the trip, I noticed a couple of things. One, it was too sandy. There are tiny sand bits everywhere around the lens. The second thing I noticed is this. I should point out over here that this bit of sand, I do believe that this is definitely sand. This bit of sand is actually stuck on the lens element from the inside. This is horrible. If any of the sand gets stuck on the inside of the lens element, it's very difficult to remove. I have dusted off pretty much every single dust particles outside the lens, and I just cleaned the lens, the front element. It's pretty clean. Like, you can see that the lens element on the outside is very clean, but there are a couple of sand particles stuck inside the lens element, inside the front lens element. I don't think it's going to cause too much of an issue when you're shooting shots on the photo or video, but it's definitely reduced the value of the resellability of this lens. Definitely no one is going to pay as much to buy this lens, as well as you have to probably send this lens off to the Sigma service center, which is again such a hassle to send a product over to service it, and probably it will take some time for them to return you the product. Such a hassle. To avoid that, please avoid taking this lens, this delicate piece of glass, to such an environment to shoot any kind of photography. But if you want a much better built lens, probably you might look into 16mm f1.4 from Fuji itself, right? That's a beautifully built lens. Hopefully they have better weather sealing to avoid the dust from entering into the lens elements, even the sand. No matter how you close it, how well you clean it, the sand or dust keeps entering between the gap between the lens cap and the lens. It's so annoying. I can't say enough that this is not a weather seal lens. We'll talk 13mm f1.4 lens is actually not weather seal. It has a tiny bit of gasket, but overall I think that has a much better weather sealing compared to this 16 1.4 lens. It's a beautiful lens. It's a really beautiful lens. The focus ring is really smooth, and I'm really glad that none of these dust particles got stuck between this focus ring to make it sound like, yeah, right. So I don't want that to happen, but I'm also a bit sad that this dust particle went between the lens elements. I'm really sad. So yeah, make sure that you don't take your lens to such places if it is not a weather seal lens.